Well, hello, everybody. This is very, very novel. It's myself, Connor, and you're not bothered about me whatsoever. I know you're not. I know all of you are here for one man and one man only. The man with the football credentials. There's already 200 in the building. It's been a long while, a long, long while since we've done something together. The man on your screen right now is probably the busiest man I am aware of, with about 15 jobs, two of which are in football. And yeah, it's absolutely fantastic to have him back on the channel. Sir David Brown, everyone's look. I don't think, mate, your ego must be pretty big today. There's already 200 odd people in here for you, and yeah, we've been gassing you up all day, mate. I think it's probably the biggest social post I've done as well when it's come to a promotion. So
not seen. Like you say, I've been working today as well.
Yeah. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah. To have so many people here after the back of that absolute horror show on Friday night to talk about Leeds is quite good. But yeah, it's good. Like you say, I've been really busy, really busy. Still kept watching along when I can and listen to you in the car, but
I got a text for all you guys. I got a text from Brownie the other day, and he was going down to QPR and he just sent me a picture. I don't know where you were going past. I think it was either past like Wakefield or just past the Leeds area. And I just thought to myself, right, he's in the Leeds mode now. I can just tell when sometimes you might want to come on and have a little bit of a chat. So I was like, right,
I've always been in the Leeds mode. It's just time, mate. You know what it's like, time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure we've got plenty to talk about with Leeds in the show. But
go on, mate. Let it all out, mate. I need someone else to do it for me. What's you're getting loads of comments in here as well. Jess said, "Evening, fellas. Great to see Brownie back on the channel." Brownie is up there. Brownie's upgraded to 4K HD quality. There we go. We haven't got any Wi-Fi dips either, which is fantastic. It's my end that now, Brownie. Anyway.
But finally got fibre put into the estate, so touch wood, it seems to be going all right. I'm not having to use a hamster to spin the wheel.
Yeah, Carol's back in the building. Yeah, loads of good comments for you, mate. But go on, tell us. Thanks for that, Carol, and thanks to everyone for joining. But go on, Brownie, let it out, mate. That's what it's here for.
It's been a long time. It's like another therapy session, isn't it? Like,
yeah, that's why I do it, mate. To be honest,
I just don't get why we've changed since the international break.
Yeah,
I don't get it. I don't get it. We're dominating. Well, I say dominating. I don't know what other people think, but I don't think we've actually played well since Swansea away in February. We've been grinding results out, and then the international breaks hit, and this might be unpopular, but you know I love an unpopular thing.
I'm just trying to figure out what you're gonna say.
I think the Welsh score has really affected some of them Welsh players.
Yeah.
Which is natural, but I'm not pinpointing on them. I just think there's been a massive drop off since that international break.
Yeah.
And it needs to change quickly. But one thing I will say, I like to bring positivity to the table. Everybody's going on about, oh, it's it, we're done. Playoffs, or we're not going to do it in playoffs. I mean, hold on a minute. There's nobody in them playoff positions setting the world alight.
No, there's not. I think, yeah. Are
you 5 at Leicester, home got beat at home to Stoke. West Brom have just gone and got battered at Sheff Wednesday. I mean, Norwich are stumbling into the playoffs. They're in 6th place. Normally, that 6th place just fly into it. There's nobody really in there that's saying we're winning the playoffs. And the way this season has gone, I'm not writing Coventry off taking 3 points on Tuesday night. The results have just been wild.
Like, yeah, you probably saw like the video title from earlier on, and do you know what it is, Brownie? Right now, I'm just trying to get myself in a headspace, mate, where it doesn't cripple me, because they're just absolutely crippling me at this moment in time. Like, even yesterday, like, you see a 3-3 draw and you think, if we'd have just got a result against QPR, and how many openings have we had to just batter that gate down? And I've mentally prepared, mate. I'm just like, look, all right, it's playoffs. It's playoffs.
That's the thing, though. We've had that many chances to kill it off.
Yeah.
But so have Ipswich.
I know. Yeah.
And they've not capitalised on it either. I just think it just seemed a horror show. The most down thing about it is that it just seemed all over the shop on Friday night. It just seemed all over the place. Like we hammer him for not making subs and does it too late. He did the Joseph one early. There was just no shape to us at all. We were just bodies on a pitch, on a pitch. It felt frantic. It almost felt like the lads felt like it was last chance saloon. It was like this be all like it just capitulated. It just
completely froze, didn't they? I wanted to. I mean, I'm getting a few comments in here. We've got Leicester fan Locks who's in the building saying Connor is the only one saying it's over. I can tell you for a fact, mate. Now you are not in the Leeds United sphere, and I can tell you there are a hell of a lot of my mates, my family members. Brownie will know a few as well, who's been down at the grounds who are saying that exact same sentiment. You know, it's easy saying from the laptop that nobody's saying anything and being on this Twitter sphere, but they are, aren't they, Brownie? And you'll have heard a couple of people down at QPR saying it. I think it's a split at the minute, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think many fans are that deluded to think that we're in a bit of spot of bother. But we're on the exact same amount of points as Ipswich.
Yep.
They've got to go to Coventry. We went to Coventry and got beat. There's no reason why they can't go to Coventry, got beat. I'll be interested to know people's opinion on the scheduling of games. I'm sick of always going first, to be honest.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that 18-19 season with Bielsa? Was it Sheffield going first, or was it us?
It felt like it was always. So for example, if Ipswich had gone first and gone to Hull and drew, would we have been throwing everything but the kitchen sink at that game to get back into it? You know what you need, and it's not an excuse. It's fact. The final day of the season, everyone kicks off at the same time for a level playing field. So what about the other 45 games of the season? I just feel like it's a nonsense. I really do. Monday night, Friday night away from home. Friday felt very, very leggy. It looked tired.
Yeah, they look. I agree with you. I think they looked. Joe, it was Brownie. They just looked beat. They looked beat up. They were bullied. But Joe, the thing is, mate, you know, you were looking at that game. I bet you were going down and saying, "Do you know what? I bet QPR are going to have 2 banks of 4." And if they do play football against us, Brownie, we're going to tear them apart. I think the worst thing was, for probably the first time this season, they played football against us and just battered us all over the pitch.
They were good. They were good, mate. Everybody knew the roles, knew the jobs. Weirdly, before the game, everybody was confident.
Yeah.
Everybody was confident. We felt like we were going to turn up and turn them over. And I think that added to the frustration that people were that confident going to the game off the back of scoring 4 at Middlesbrough to then be 2-0 down inside 23 minutes. It just added to the tension and the frustration. They played with the back 3 and wing backs, and I mean Firpo and Byron were 2-on-1 all the time. They were getting 2'd up all the time, and I mean Farke alluded to it in his post-match comments that the first 20 minutes it just seemed all over the place. But we didn't learn from that. We didn't change. We didn't adapt. We didn't switch to anything. We just carried on. I saw a really interesting tweet, and people go, "Here we go. He's on about it again."
But I know. Are you going to mention a man whose name begins with B by any chance?
Yeah, but he was so stubborn. It was plan A or plan A.
Yeah.
And Farke is in that very much mould. It's this way or this way. There's no switching it up, which. It's great if you're strong to your philosophy and how you want to play, but I think sometimes you do need to adapt and switch it up and play different ways. But I don't know what people think, but Somerville and Nonto just they didn't feel like they were playing as wingers. They were just so narrow, and another probably unpopular opinion. It's a mad thing to say because of the numbers that they've produced, Somerville and Rutter, but it's felt very much like Somerville FC recently.
100%. Completely agree.
It's felt give it to Somerville and let him try and do something, or Somerville trying to get it and take 15 players on and try and sometimes it feels like it's watching a kid in the playground just trying to run past everyone.
Do you think it's been like that? Do you think it's been like that all season though, mate? I kind of feel like it's been.
Yeah.
Obviously, Rutter Rutter's been awful in front of goal in terms of goals. Really, I think he's got 6 or 7 goals, hasn't he? But obviously, Nonto wasn't there for that big period of time. Dan James would chip in and has got a significant amount of goals. Perot would get a few here and there. Bamford did all right in the new year, but largely, mate, consistently, the plan seems to be if we go through Rutter and we go through Somerville, that is plan A, B, C, D, F, G, and really anything else is we're a bit stumped. It feels like we're a bit stumped.
I might be wrong. Sometimes I am, very rarely, but sometimes. But I don't think Gray, Kamara, and Grew ever scored a goal between them.
No, they haven't. Because that Gray was deflected against Leicester, wasn't
it? Yeah. So there was that shot from Gray, of course. Yeah, but between the three of them, a deflected goal from our centre midfielders.
No, Brownie. It was actually classified as an own goal. That's what I meant.
Right. Okay. So no goals from our centre midfielders is a problem.
And when you look at and you'll be able to give evidence to this as well, mate. But you look at that Bielsa season when you'd have Pablo, you'd have Calvin Phillips rarely chipping in, but still chipping in with like the odd goal or two. You'd have Click, Dallas chipping in. You'd even have like Alioski, wouldn't you?
Costa.
Chipping in. Costa, Ayling, Harrison. You'd have them all chipping in. That was it, wasn't it?
Yeah. And the other thing that alarmed me, and this was before the game, it felt going back a few years, the bench looked weak.
Did you think?
Yeah.
Did you?
On Friday night, I looked at that bench and thought, it was a problem.
Really? So do you think? So when you look at let's say, because I think me and you before have had conversations about Cresswell before all the stuff happened with Farke, and we found out a little bit more. Richard Cresswell tweeted out or put his Instagram story up, and that he shouldn't have done that. But I think Stone Cold at the start of the season, we've said, and I think you've said before as well, like captain tendencies, all this sort of stuff. Experience. He's a Leeds lad, but he played for Millwall, did a good job. Has come back, not really been in favour, and then you look at Jaden Anthony Brownie. You'll have been down at Stamford Bridge. I think he's been really good when he's featured.
Yeah.
Joseph,
well, I'll go through that.
Yeah. Go on.
So you've got Shackleton.
Yeah, appalling.
Charlie Crew, Charlie Creswell, Gelhart, Joseph, Darlow, Cooper, and then you've got Anthony and Joseph, who I think, bring them on. But other than Joseph and Anthony, I'm looking at bench and thinking,
problem.
What's changing this game if it's not working? That was a conception before the game. I think obviously Dan James not being on that bench is a problem. No Bamford, Connor Roberts injured. I think it just looked weak. I genuinely do. So if you look at that team from Friday night, what people are going, it should have. What would you have changed to that starting 11? What was the only change you could do? The only argument would probably be Joseph instead of Perot.
Yeah, that's what I'd have done.
That tells me that if you can only make one change, your bench isn't that good.
Yeah. I think I'd agree with that. I think it'd have been Joseph for me. I think largely you can't really change much. I think Kamara's been poor, really, really poor. I think, to be honest, Brownie, a lot of it with me, mate, is a lot of things in game. And I think it's, your in-game management in terms of when you bring your substitutes on. Leeds are, I think it's bottom 3, bottom 4 for actually giving players minutes. But Daniel Farke moans about fatigue and tiredness. And to be fair, if you're saying that you don't think that bench is strong enough, then that'd be an argument against that. I mean, there is a case that, Charlie Cresswell had come in at centre-back and then it might improve us on set pieces. But then do you bring Cresswell in at this stage of the season because he's going to be cold because he's had no minutes? And then at least you can then move Ampadu back into midfield. There's that whole thing.
I was amazed that Byram came out for the second half. With him being on a yellow, up against Chair, I was amazed. I mean, I think we've lost people. I wasn't Archie Gray's biggest fan at right back, but he seemed to get involved and bomb on and get forward. Whereas I don't know why it is with Byram, but he always wants to go backwards. And that's not just a pop at Byram. I think as a team, we I said this to you the other day. We must be as a team up there with the most backward passing in the league. And that's clearly a tactic and a keep the ball possession style based. But we are. I think you've seen it creep in at Ellen Road a lot lately in the last few weeks. The moans and groans because sometimes we'll have a throw in on the edge of their box or a free kick or a corner. It'll end up back at Mellier.
But you've played the game at a higher level than I have. I've played at a decent level, but I feel that is safety on. I feel it's the handbrake on. I feel it's an easy option. Instead of going forward, instead of being a bit progressive and a bit dynamic, the safety option is always back to Road and back to Ampadu, and then it's back to Elan Mellier. And I just think a lot of the time, mate, then it gets back to Elan Mellier, and we don't really see. I mean, me and you've had chats about this, but then it will get back to Mellier, and we don't see any sort of effective distribution. And Leeds don't then build up as a unit. You might as well just try go forward 75% of the time and see what happens. Do a little bit of a risk, but I guess that's maybe the problem of not having a Pablo Hernandez in there, the pickpocket.
Yeah, but we've been like that all season. There was a. I'm trying to find it. There was a game at Ellen Road where we won 1-0. I think it was Swansea at home. I might be wrong.
It might be. I think Swansea beat him 3-1, didn't we? It might be QPR.
I bet it was QPR or Norwich. QPR or Norwich. There were one of them where we went 1-0 up, and that was it. You handbrake on, and we just kept the ball for the last half an hour. And I was like, I came away thinking, just go get the second. And lately, we've got one, and we've not been able to hold that one.
Yeah,
back into it.
Well, Phil said, evening, what stood out to me, Hull and Ipswich both made changes that impacted the game. Both Hull subs scored. McKenna brought on more. Sarmiento both impacted. I guess the argument there, Brownie, is like Phil's saying there, and we've seen, we've seen McKenna do this throughout the season. I think it's really worked for Ipswich. I guess there's a bit of an argument throughout the season that Farke's use of substitutions really has been minging. You look at the contributions in terms of goals from, and you can look at the players there, but we've seen Perot come on for 3 minutes. We've seen Anthony come on for 6 minutes when we've needed goals. Does it feel to you a little bit like when we sort of run out of ideas, Farke will just throw all the attackers on and see what sticks?
Well, it worked at Norwich, didn't it? It has worked a few times, and I think he did that at Watford as well. Just chucked on Joseph and Anthony, and it got a goal. But I think the biggest thing I've took from like managing the last few months, if you're not using your bench, it's because you know that the quality is not like for like. That's the only reason I can think that he's not using his bench, because he doesn't believe, or I don't know if trust's the right word, but he believes that it's weakening the team.
Is Joseph ahead of Perot for you?
Different types of players, mate.
Which one would you prefer now?
Bamford.
Yeah. I know you would. I know you would. And I get why you would. Yeah.
I think I'd probably go Joseph, but I'd still have Perot in the team. It's difficult, mate, because I think Rutter, since he's had his hernia operation, I don't think he's been anywhere near the same player.
No, he's not.
But how can you can't take him out of the team? You can't take Rutter out of the team because of what he can do. But Joseph started at Chelsea and scored 2.
No. By the way, mate, who else started that game as well? Anthony, who's brilliant.
Anthony, who did really well then, and we've not really seen much of him since.
No.
Is that again because you can't take Somerville out of the team? You can't take him out. And Dan James' numbers were good. Nonto was doing well. I thought he was really poor the other night, to be fair.
Yeah, it was.
But I think you could label that all of them thought they were all really poor.
I think the frustrating thing with Nonto, I don't know if you agree with this, was his sort of antics in the first 20 minutes when he just kept going down and we were just getting battered. It's like, we need to get back into the game here, mate. Please get up.
Yeah, and I think that was what I was meaning by saying Somerville FC. He's getting subbed off, and he's walked the entire width of the pitch. Just get off the pitch. He ended up getting booed. Just get off the pitch. It's not all about you. It was obvious why they were going off. He was clearly protecting him, Rutter. They all ended up going off the pitch. It was clever from Farke. The game were gone. Just get them off. But I feel we've got too many luxury players in one team. When it's 2-0, I've said this before on this channel. When we're at home and it's 2-0 or 3-0, all the tricks can come out, all the allays, it's all nice. I want the football. When you're away at QPR or Stoke or Sunderland and it's a battle, we've got too many luxury players on the pitch, and it's difficult to carry that many. When we went up last time, I would label Pablo as a luxury player, and there was nobody else. It was all hard-working players who would put a shift in.
And Pablo was as well, by the way, wasn't he?
I'm not saying he was. I'm just saying he had that X factor, did Pablo. So whether he worked hard or not, you'd have him in the team. Whereas I think this team's got far too many of them luxuries that want the ball and want to be seen when you are 4-0 up at Swansea and everybody wants a bit of a go. But when you are 2-0 down against QPR, I didn't see many people wanting the football. I really didn't. And would you describe your likes of Nonto, Somerville and Butter as hard-working grafters? I'm not sure. I'm not sure they fall into grafting material. But I'm not saying they're not good players. I'm just saying there's a way to play at home and a way to play away. And I think if you looked at I don't know, I might be wrong, but if you look at our away form in the table in the league overall, away from home,
mid-table probably, won't it?
It's not as good. I don't know. It's not as good as home. It has improved. But the home form's definitely carried us through, which rightly so. But
yeah, Lucas said lots of love on holiday in Gran Canaria, trying to enjoy my time without Leeds ruining it. Great to see the boys back. Neat to see Father McGilligan. Make him sound like a priest, Luca. He nearly is, actually. He's got a bit of a bald patch there now. He looks a little bit like a monk. So,
like Paul just says there, 8 losses away from home.
Yeah, 8 losses.
And this is what I meant when I can remember I was sat in this exact spot when I got hammered. People were laughing at me.
Go on, Brownie, bring up the receipts, lad.
When I said that Bamford had to come in the team away from home because he just holds the ball and brings people into play, like when I referenced it to Burnley when they went up, they had like Wood or Barnes just being horrible. The first part of the season, we were playing Rutter down the middle up front away from home.
Well, it's mad that it's mad now that in it we're still looking at in 2024, and this has probably been the same really since 2017, 2018. Bamford is still the number 9 at the club, who is primary choice right now. It's ridiculous, and you do wonder if maybe Perot was brought in. That I don't really understand. I'll be honest, Brownie. I do not understand the Perot signing.
I'll tell you exactly what I think it was. I think it was we were having an absolute fire sale. The morale was on the floor. We didn't know what the ownership was, and Perot was a top name in the Championship, and we wanted to put a bit of muscle around. I've just got the form tables up, and we're actually 3rd in the away form table.
Oh, right, okay.
Right, but taken 37 points. We've taken 53 at home. So that's a 16-point difference, home and away, which is massive. 16-point difference is massive. It's like 6 games, isn't it?
Yeah, Andy said having the likes of Melee at the back must sap every inch of confidence from the back foot. I think that's something I wanted to touch on this, Brownie, because I think if let's say, we do go into the playoffs, right? Let's say we do go into the playoffs. I think I was mentioning this on the stream this morning, mate. Watertight defence is what we need to get back to. We've conceded a large amount of goals post-international break. Coventry, Watford, we've conceded 1 against Hull, 1 against Blackburn, 3 the other night, 4 the other night.
Over the last 5 games, mate, we've conceded 2 a game. On average, 2 a game.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I think when we go into the playoffs, remember all those years ago when Huddersfield went up and barely scored a goal, but they were watertight at the back.
Well, they drew 0-0. Both they won on penalties in the semi-final and the final. It was 0-0, wasn't it? And
they just kept going, and that's what I'm sort of looking at right now. I'm just thinking to myself, like, the defense needs to get back to a structure where it's watertight. I mean, Norwich are leaking goals, West Brom are leaking goals if they do stay in it, Southampton are leaking goals, but unfortunately, right now, mate, we've zapped into that category. And Andy just mentioned Elan Melee. Then I don't want it to be a tirade on him, but listen. He's part of that back line, and at this moment in time, he's facing a lot more shots than he did previously. and he's wilting under that pressure, mate. For me, he's wilting again under that pressure, and we need to see a hell of a lot more from him. The other night, I thought was absolutely despicable, really, when it came to Ilan Mele again.
I was worried in the warm-up. Because you won't. No, you're laughing. You won't see it on TV. He must have shelled about 7 out of play. Do you know when you warm up with the keeper? It honestly hit the steward on the head. He must have shelled 7 out of play. And
he kept doing it. He did it in the game, mate. He kept doing it in the game.
And that was unopposed in a warm-up. I'm not into all this XG nonsense. I really don't, because I think it depends on the player, on where you're on the pitch and all that. But QPR's XG on Friday night wasn't even 1.
I know.
And we've conceded 4.
And the battered us. Yeah.
The XG was below 1, and we've conceded 4. I just think. Well, there was that period in the Premier League, wasn't there, where we went 13 consecutive shots on target or something stupid that went in. I just feel like every shot on goal goes in, whether that's Melié's fault or not. It just feels like we have to hammer down a door to get a goal in. But if you have a shot at our goal,
well, I said, mate, I said, do you ever feel from a fan perspective, and anybody in the chat as well, do you ever feel like he's 6'7"? I don't. I feel like he's 5'7". Do you know what I mean? That's how I feel as having him in there. I feel there's no presence. As soon as the ball left Cher's foot, listen, deflected off Rodon, of course it did. But as soon as it left his foot, and you'll have been directly behind it, I knew it was going in. And I just have no faith in him between the sticks whatsoever.
Well, and I'm not, like I say, I'm not one for XG. I think it's a load of. I think the biggest stat is goals and shots and possession and what have you. We both had 5 shots on target each on Friday night.
Yeah.
Both had 5 shots on target, and it was 4-0. I've said it for a while, and I stand by it. No matter what league we're in, I do feel like it's harsh because he's been a good servant, but I think he has been better this year. I really do think he's been better this year than last year, but there's still, it just seems weak. Just seems there's too many goals that go in. But then he's kept the most clean sheets.
But I've said as well, though, mate, when it comes to that, I have said, I know you're not a big data man, but basic save percentage. Do you know what I mean, mate? Just how many shots you save when it's on target. He's 14th in the division, which says to me, clean sheets to me is part of the unit. It's the unit keeping the clean sheet as well. It's not just Ilan Mele. Save percentage, that's Ilan Mele. Do you know what I mean? And then you look at these goals prevented metrics. He's 18th in the division. And I just think at this moment in time, I don't know how we're going to see it because, I mean, there's no one pushing him, mate. There's no one pushing him. We brought Carl Darlow in. It was about as useful as Kiko Casilla was back in the day. There's no point in having him as a second goalkeeper.
I've played with Carl, so no comment. But
no comment. Well, me and you have spoken about it off air, so we'll leave it at that.
But the other thing is, I think Gruev's been great for us, but I would love to know. Do you know when you see these pass completion stats, which I think are a load of nonsense, right? And it's like 90%, 93%. I would love to know how much of that 93% is forward.
Someone said it. Someone said it apart from me.
What? No, I genuinely would. And it's not just Gruev in general. I'd put that at a few. When you're seeing these, magic, sat-nav, 97% passes. Great. But they're not gone anywhere.
No, never. I completely agree with you.
At times watching Leeds, it's like watching rugby league. Backwards.
He's foreshore, isn't he?
I'm not. I think he has been good, and I think we've been better since he's gone in there. But I think him and Kamara are very similar. He's definitely not a bad player. They're very neat and tidy. They both keep the ball well. But I'd love to know how many assists them two have got. Genuinely, I would genuinely love to know between them. And if someone wants to flip it up and say I'm wrong, I'd love to know how many Gruev and Kamara assists there have been.
Sam, I've just seen what you said, mate. You were waxing lyrical about Gruev the other week, saying he's combative. Yeah, saying he's combative, mate. I'm not taking that away from him.
Yeah,
He is combative. I'm
Yeah.
not denying that. He's a ball winner, and that's what he is. He's very good at that. He's very good at ball recoveries. Sam, that's not me going back on what I've said, fella. I'm saying that, and I completely agree with what Brownie said, and I've sort of stuck by it. Really, he's a sideways lateral merchant, really. And I think if we saw Ampadu back in there in the 6, we'd see a lot more in terms of passing ability, 100%. And
I don't want that to come across of me saying Gruev's not being good. He has
I'm the same.
He has been good forwards. I just feel like I'll put it to the fullbacks. Same thing. If you look down our left and you look down our right, it's like night and day how more progressive we are down the left with Firpo than it is on the right hand side with Byron. I don't think Byron went past. I remember him getting over the halfway line in the first half. But other than that, he doesn't go up. I just think we've lost a lot down the right hand side since Gray's come inside.
Are you because I know you're a bit of a you'll defend him here, but Daniel Farke, what does he need to change up?
I think he needs to put Gray back to right back and put Kamara and Grove back. That was the system that was working. It was a machine. It was just win. I mean, for whatever reason, I don't know why we've switched it up, but since the international break, and I'm again not having a go at Archie Gray, fantastic talent. But since he's gone back into the midfield, Coventry loss, Sunderland defeat, Blackburn loss, QPR loss. I'm not saying that's Gray's fault. I'm saying he went to right back at QPR on Friday night, and within 30 seconds of him going to right back, he'd overlapped. He'd overlapped on the right hand side and got across into the box.
Yeah.
And I think he drives forward so much that from wide areas, because Somerville and Nonto are getting doubled up all the time, and you see Firpo, how many assists Firpo's put in from the left hand side because he's getting forward. I just think we've lost someone going forward on the right hand side.
What I wanted to get your thoughts on something else.
I didn't really answer that on Farke, really. It's so difficult, mate. I've seen loads on social media about Farke out or not good enough, he's failed.
Yeah.
Any other season we've won the league. And that's where I am at mentally. Any other season we have won the league with 90 points.
But it ain't. And if you're not turning around someone, I've said this before, you're not turning to your colleagues at work if we don't go up and say, yeah, but we got 90 points. You want to go up, don't you? We have to get up there with this squad.
Oh, of course, but I think we will.
Well, there you go. Yeah. And if we get there, Brownie, if we get there, fantastic.
What I'm saying is, if we didn't go up, I wouldn't get rid of him. That's where I'm at.
And I tell you what, I think it all depends on how this ends. I think if we completely blow up now, and what I mean by that is, we lose to Southampton, we then lose in the playoffs badly in the semi-finals. It wouldn't surprise me if the 49ers, let's say Brownie, if they saw a top championship coach next season, a top championship coach, if they moved on there. But I think it would have to be a special coach at championship level.
Bielsa didn't grow up in the first year.
But I would say Bielsa.
He didn't have a better squad.
I would say Bielsa turned water into wine.
He didn't have anywhere near as the squad that we've got now. Would it be a failure if we didn't go with this squad? Yeah,
I think so.
I think it would. But a lot of people, and I'm going to flip it on its head, a lot of people didn't have Leeds in their top 2 at the start of the season. So
no, I didn't. I didn't. I didn't.
And I'm not just saying you. I'm saying a lot of people said,
no, I didn't.
We won't even get playoffs, or we'll just make the playoffs. So people are saying that he's failed, but I've also said that we won't get top 2. So I'm a little bit confused as to.
Do you think it's maybe the the timing? We've grabbed it all the way back, Brownie. We've clawed back 17 points. We've clawed back 12 points on Ipswich. We are back in the driving seat, and we've got there with a brilliant squad. Well, caliber-wise compared to a lot of other teams in this division. We've got back there, and when you're there, you've got to get it over the line, haven't you? You've done so well, but you've got to compete. You've got, and I think that's what a lot of people will say, mate. They'll say, "Yeah, we didn't expect this at the start of the season, but we defied all odds. We're there now, and this is where it really matters." And that's where you can't. And I'll have to say it, Brownie. Right now, it's that horrible B word, that bottle. It is at this moment in time.
Over the last five games, there's only Rotherham that's took less points. So it's got
in the league.
In the league, in the last 5 games, there's only Rotherham who's took less points. It's got to that crunch time, and I think the biggest frustration is we've chucked points away at home to Blackburn, Sunderland, and it'd be done by now. If we'd have played at home how we've been playing at home all season with the form we've been in at home all season, them two it'd be done.
Yeah, it would.
It would be done, but it's not.
So what happens then if you're saying, and you're well aware of it, but you still have belief in us going up? What do you think? What do you think happens then? What do you think happens from here on in? What's your sort of like vision right now with Leeds? Because like you just said, the form is probably the worst in the top. Well, it is. It's the worst in the top 4 right now. We're dropping points. We've just been battered by a team in 17th. How do you see this positively going forward? Like, what do you think changes?
Well, we're not the only ones having this chat, by the way. Southampton have lost 3 on the spin.
Yeah, they've been bad. Yeah.
Southampton have lost 3 on the spin, so they're hardly scintillating. I just see Ellis Sims wheeling away on Tuesday night, and then we get the job done on Saturday. The way this season has gone, mate, with us choking, and then let's not be wrong, Ipswich have choked at times as well. They've chucked when they've gone second and they could have capitalised. They've chucked points. The way this season of results has gone, and the way the Championship has gone this season, I can see Ellis Sims wheeling away. O'Hare slotting one in.
Coventry's Grealish.
And then all this doom and gloom for the last few weeks is back in our hands. Does it
worry you a little bit? Does it worry you a little bit that Cov? I mean, in the past like 5 or 6 have won one game, and it's against Leeds.
That's just Leeds, though, isn't it? I mean, I think QPR's home form. I think before they're going into the game, QPR's home form was like the 3rd worst in the league, and they've scored 4. We seem to break all these trends, don't we? But I think if the Ipswich get anything at Coventry, I think it's done. I don't see them losing at home to Huddersfield.
No,
but
they're done. They're done, really, aren't they? As well, Huddersfield. I think that game today killed them, didn't it?
Yeah, I do. I think if they lose on Tuesday night, I think we beat Southampton and go up. If not, it's playoffs. And next Sunday we'll be playing. I'm looking at the playoffs, and I'm looking now. None of them fear. I'm not feared by any of them, and I don't know if that's naive.
No, it's not. No, it's not naive. It's not naive because we've got the best side out of that 4, Brownie. But a lot of it now is coming down to mentality, and mentality intertwines with form, doesn't it? And I think that's what people are, and myself, a little bit worried about, and probably the fact that it rolls into our history where we've not got up in the playoffs in our entire history. That probably feeds into it. But yeah,
I mean, like there's a comment there saying West Brom. We're 18 points above them, and they've lost the last 3 on the spin. Like, I get.
I think Norwich are the form team, and they've got 2 draws on the bounce, I think.
Yeah, there's nobody in that playoffs that are flying. The Ipswich drawn the last 3. Southampton lost the last 3. Norwich drawn the last 2. West Brom lost the last. In fact, West Brom have won 1 in the last 7. So there's nobody in there.
What would be your ideal scenario if we were to get into the playoffs? Who would you prefer to play over 2 legs, and then who would you
not
prefer
Hull.
to play?
I think
Yeah, I
Hull
don't
have
want.
been the best. I think Hull have been the best team to come to Ellen Road recently. I
Yeah,
thought they were
been good.
really good, and I don't. I know we won the game, but I think we stole 3 points that night. I don't think. I don't. I don't think it'd happen, but well, like it can't really happen, can it? No, it can't happen. But I think I'd prefer to have played Southampton over 2 legs rather than a one-off game. If that
Yeah.
it might sound daft, but over a one-off game, if we get through the semis, it's on the bucket list, mate, to see Leeds win at Wembley. So why not? But
Yeah, it'd be some end to it, wouldn't it?
it would. But yeah, like I say, then playoffs. There's nobody in it at the minute that's screaming we're in form. Normally, there's a team that roll into the playoffs after win,
Yeah,
win,
yeah.
win, and there's nobody doing it. Everybody's staggering and stumbling into it.
It was that 18-19 season under Bielsa, wasn't there? Obviously, when Derby beat us. But do you remember Villa? Villa absolutely stormed into it, didn't they? In
Yeah,
about fifth
but
or sixth.
recently, I think so. That season we went up, I think, was it Brentford that missed out? They came third.
Yeah.
And everybody went, oh, whoever misses out automatic, they won't win the playoff. And Brentford won the playoffs. I think Fulham did the same thing one year as well. They just missed out and then they won the playoffs. I don't see anyone fearing us, but let's hope it doesn't come to that. It's weird, isn't it? Because last night it just felt like you were on death row and your sentence just got pushed along a little bit further.
Yeah, exactly
Um,
right. Exactly
I
right.
didn't watch it. I didn't watch the game. I
No, I
just
didn't.
I just thought it was pointless. What will be will be. But yeah, if Coventry beat them Tuesday night, I think QPR could have been a Nottingham Forest moment in the promotion year where the lads get together, a few choice words, and then go and finish the job. I also think, and this might sound daft because of how good our home form's been, I'd probably prefer to have played the second leg away. I feel the pressure. I feel the pressure at Ellen Road has created recently.
Hmm.
It's not been a nice atmosphere to play in. And then people might go, "Oh, the footballers should do that." I'm guilty of it. It's a crunch time of the year. Any slight mistake, moans and groans everywhere, and players feed off it. They really do. I think Ellen Road, when things are going well, it's the best place in the world. When things aren't going so well, oh, you've got to be a brave player.
That's why it's a big club, though, isn't it? It's a big club to play
That's
at,
why a
mate.
lot of people fail. A lot of
They
people
do.
come to Leeds, and that badge is heavy. That
It is.
badge is really heavy. Um, but yeah, I still see us going up. I really do. And you saw the emotions. I saw it on the highlights today. You saw the emotions with the Ipswich players. You saw the emotions with McKenna when Hull equalised.
Yeah, yeah.
They're feeling it as well. They're really feeling the strain, the pinch. It'd be nice to go into that final day at 90 points each.
Well, it's probably the best scenario, but
It's the
I,
only
I
scenario that we can go up with, I think.
yeah, I think
I don't see Ipswich losing at home to Huddersfield. I
no,
really
I mean
don't.
it'd be the upset of the season, wouldn't it? It'd be the complete upset of the season if that was to happen. It'd be completely unusual.
Who would you want in the playoffs then? If worst case scenario and Ipswich do go and get the job done, which by the way would be absolutely fair play to them
Yep.
to have gone all this way. If they go and get the job done and get mid 90 points, then well done. But
Well,
if they
Brownie,
were,
the top two deserve to go up, don't they?
I think all three deserve to go up.
Yeah, well,
I was having this discussion. Who was it with?
said that in
About
1819, mate, when we finished
yeah,
third as
no, and
well.
it was the same scenario then. But I was having this discussion. I can't remember. It was the other day about what do I think to the playoffs,
Hmm.
and I know why they do them because money, and if there weren't a playoff situation, come January, February, teams have got nothing to play for. I totally get that, but I think when there's a scenario where there's 18 points between Leeds and West Brom. 18. How can they go into the same situation of a chance to go into the Premier League. And people might think, oh, that's only because Leeds might end up in the playoffs. I've always thought that if a team's finishing that far ahead, there must be a more an advantage for them. Because the only advantage you've got is your second legs at home. You've played 46 games. You've finished 18 points clear of a team, and you've got the same chance of going up. I've never understood it.
No.
Never understood it.
Steve says Ipswich will get a deflection 9 minutes into the 6th minute of injury time on Tuesday.
Oh, by the way, this people might have forgotten. What was the last home game?
Blackburn.
Not the Blackburn one.
Sunderland.
There was a game at Ellen Road recently where he added 3 minutes on. At the end of the game, he added 3 minutes.
Yeah,
3 minutes added time. And I remember someone at the side of me went, if this was Ipswich, there'd be 12.
It was Sunderland. I'm pretty sure it was Sunderland.
Yeah. There was a game where he put 3 minutes up, and I thought, 3? Having a laugh. But yeah, it's
I don't know why. I've just got, so obviously we've not taken 3 points off him this season, but I wouldn't want to come up with what we've struggled against this season. I know the form going into it's not been great, but I wouldn't want to come up against West Brom, to be honest, mate. They're the ones who I'd be a bit worried about, because he'll just kill the game, Corbran. He'll absolutely kill it. I think I'd rather play a team maybe who came at us, like you probably know that Norwich are going to do, or Southampton. I wouldn't fancy West Brom, to be honest. But I'm with you in
We've seen that with the results this season, haven't we, mate?
Yeah,
we've seen that with the results. I saw a picture of results taken against the teams at the bottom, and in the bottom 6 there's only Plymouth. There's only Plymouth that we've done the double over, which is staggering. So, Blackburn, they've beaten us. Sheff Wednesday drew with us. Plymouth we beat twice. Birmingham beat us. Huddersfield we drew with. Rotherham we drew with. Which that's the biggest problem. The bottom 6, and you've only done the double over one of them. That's a lot. That's a lot of points. That's a lot of chucked points away. They're teams that do sit, camp, put up a camping site, sleep in a tent, and say, "Come on, try and break us down." They're teams that aren't going to come at us. So I totally get why you're saying with the West Brom scenario, just with how pragmatic they are under Corbehan. But I'm the most positive in the world. You know what I mean, mate? I don't see us losing a 2-legged game over 2 legs. I don't see us losing to any of them over 2 legs with what we've got.
That's your. So you think we're going to go into? We're not even going to get to playoffs. You just think you genuinely believe right now we're going to beat Southampton, or we'll go up top 2. Is that what you think?
I think we beat Southampton. Obviously, the Coventry Ipswich game's out of our control. Can't do it. There's nothing we can do about that. But yeah, I still see Leeds going up.
Okay, well,
if you were a betting man, Connor, would you have Leeds looking for the fixtures for Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, and the rest, or would you have us looking at fixtures for Derby, Portsmouth?
Oh mate, it's Premier League all day. It's Premier League all day. I can't get my head round people turning round and saying, "I don't care. I'd rather be in the Championship next."
No. Sorry, mate. I meant where do you think our fixture lists will? Which fixture list do you think we'll fall onto?
Well, I feel like we've got to keep up our normal resume here, Brownie. With you saying that we'll do it, and me saying we're going to absolutely bottle it, and me carry on with this negative crap like I normally do. But do you know what it is, mate? That the other night, and you know what I can be like. That caught me completely off guard. I could not believe what I was genuinely watching it, and I was there with my gob open, and that really scared me. I was like, so I just think, and I can't go against what I've said. I've said it, mate. I've said throughout this post international break that we've not seen anything. The Borough game we saw a little bit, but then we saw that 3 days later. And I'm thinking, we've got the quality, we've got the caliber to do it, but are they right up here? So I don't see it, but I know we have the best team in that 4. So we've obviously got a massive chance, obviously.
Well, we've got the best team. Would you say we've got the best manager?
I do like Corberan, but yeah, why not? Why not?
So you've got Corberan, Wagner, Lego Ed, and Farke.
Yeah.
So you've got the best team, arguably the best manager. Well, he's got the best CV out of the 4 of them. Put it that way. So I don't see the next point and problem that I see is, and I had this debate with my brother. I think if we were to go up, that team needs a lot of work.
mate, wow. I mean, wow. That team, 6 or 7 minimum. Yeah, that's a conversation for another day, mate.
Yeah, we've got to get there first.
Yeah. We'll leave it there, mate. But if look, there's over 1,500 of you in the building. Slap a like, not for me. Slap a like on for Brownie. Slap a like on Profit Town because this guy's kept them up.
United.
Also, United. They were Rossett Town though, weren't they?
Yeah,
they were back in the day. They merged, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Rossett United. There we go. He's told me that before. I've just not listened, but there we go. Rossett United. I had to edit that tweet I put out. I had to pay like £9 to edit it. I was like, Christ. But yeah, everyone, thank you so much for joining. We'd love to get Brownie on again. I'm sure we will do.
We will do for a promotion party.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Some sort of end of season thing. But make sure you slap a like on the video. Go follow Brownie on Twitter, Brownie_89. And I was about to click the debrief there, mate, but we'll see you in a bit. Cheers, guys. Cheers, Brownie.